Why did we build Cavalry? How did we get started? And why do we care so much about maintenance? But the biggest question of them all right, guys, today we want to talk about a question that has been surfacing constantly lately. We've been getting it through DMs, we've been getting it on our sales calls, and we want to just talk about that particular subject, right? Especially since, Tom, we have a different perspective of why we started Cavalry and how, that came to be. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Why did we build Cavalry? How did we get started? And why do we care so much about maintenance? But the biggest question of them all, why are you sharing all of your secrets with everyone?
Yeah, I think you and I both come from a slightly different perspective, but yet with the same mission and the same idea and the same outcome. So for me, when I moved to America from Belgium back in 2016, something changed in my mindset. I knew it was the vibe of New York City. I don't know, whatever it was, the idea of the American dream, but something switched in my mindset, and I wanted to build a business. So I was constantly looking out for opportunities. I worked as a wine salesman, I worked as a mystery shopper, and every job that I kind of did, I also worked as a roofing vendor just before we met. Every job I did, I was finding ways to build a business out of it, dreaming of maybe one day taking over the company that I was working with, all of that, right? So for me, when I think about our business and the reason why we got into it, it's just because I saw this massive opportunity. And that is not being opportunistic. Well, it is to an extent, but it's also a massive opportunity because you see a problem that can be solved. And that's really what it is. You do not have a business if you don't solve a problem. If you sell somebody something that doesn't solve a problem, you're a scam artist, basically, right? So in essence, a company needs to solve the problem, and that is where the allure came from me. So when we started working together, I was like, man, what is this thing? These guys, this property management company, I'm doing these inspections, I'm changing these roofs, and these guys are just making 10% on that. Does every company do that? And then you were like, no, not every company does that. Actually, only a small percentage of a company does that. And I was like, okay, well, so everything about coordinating. Coordinating is a massive issue. Nobody really knows how to do it, or nobody has the processes. And then you have that rebate program, and then just everything aligned, and then a business was born, right? So for me, it came from that perspective. But of course, like I said before, the problem solving needs to be there, and the problem is 100% there. So it's not necessarily 100% that I'm coming from this from an opportunistic point of view, but it has to do with it. And then with you, of course, I think your story is different because you started there. So tell us a bit more about that, and tell us about your perspective.
Yeah, so I don't know if you recall, but at first I didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You called me up and you were like, "Hey, I got this idea." And then I was like, "You know what? I've been thinking about that same idea, right?
Yeah.
But at a bigger if I remember correctly, you were talking about just roofs, across the nation.
Mhm.
And then that's where I told you, there's everything else, appliances, plumbing, electrical, whatever.
Mhm.
And back then, I did not want to build another business. So I had a previous business, which was an English institute,
Mhm.
and it was stressful, right? Building a business is extremely stressful, it's time consuming. And then we have this mindset of, grind until you make it, right? So that's working 14, 16-hour days. And, that's basically what you eat, sleep, and breathe, right? And so I understood that starting another business meant going back into that grind mode, right? And then I was in a very comfortable place. I was managing the maintenance for a particular PMC, and I was having a lot of success there. So at first, I didn't want to, because of that fear of having to go back into that grind mode. And But one of the things that I had noticed was that after COVID, so I don't know if everybody recalls that when COVID hit, a lot of companies went under. And a lot of companies went under because they were not ready for the virtual world in the property management world. So, and a big portion of that is maintenance. You know, it has to do with inspections, sending out vendors, making sure that they do the job correctly, and so not that many companies were prepared. I had some friends that lost their jobs and that lost their companies during the pandemic because they were not prepared for that virtual environment. And so I saw that there was a big need, and I had helped multiple companies restructure their maintenance and rebuild their maintenance department, and supplying the processes and so on. So I noticed that there was a big need in the industry. And then when Tom called me up and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go ahead and do this?" At first I was freaked out because I didn't want to, but I knew that there was a big need in the industry and something that a lot of people could take advantage of these processes, take advantage of just knowing the basics about maintenance, right? So that they could scale or they could grow a little bit more. And I think that was my particular reason of jumping on the ship and sailing off into building this massive company that has been having a lot of success because of it, right? And since we started Cavalry, we've seen how companies, they're not prepared for maintenance. We speak to a lot of owners that are doing maintenance themselves, a lot of PMs that are handling maintenance themselves, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. We've seen that countless times, right? Where they're at 100 doors and they're like, I don't know what to do anymore. I can't handle maintenance anymore. I'm literally, there have been some owners that think about shutting down their business because of maintenance.
Mhm.
And since the profit is so slim for those particular companies, they don't want to hire another MC, and we've seen that. So that is one of the reasons why we came up with the solution of providing maintenance completely free of charge for property management companies, so that they can grow and scale as we continue to grow and scale with them.
Yeah, because we might as well just charge as well. So if you take a look at our competitors, many of those they have kind of a double dip system where they also get the rebate. So the one that we get, we take 12%. So full transparency here, nothing to hide here. So, but they would take that 12% or whatever percentage it is, and they would also mark up. So for us, it truly is that, like, we really want to help. We have enough revenue to cover our expenses and to build a business around this. So there's no need to milk it. And I feel like that really shows where we are in this industry, and the position that we're taking in truly helping people. Because yeah, I want to help people, blah blah blah. Everybody says that, right? But it's actions speak more than words, and our actions are showing it. So very excited. But
Yeah.
Diego, you were just saying, you were the second part of your question was why how are we giving away our secrets for free, right? So, well, let's discuss it, Diego. Have you ever had a discussion about this? Have you ever had a disagreement about this, or do you feel like you've always been on board in sharing all of the secrets?
No, I was completely against it, guys. Honestly, I felt like if you shared the knowledge, if you shared the industry secrets of how to handle maintenance, other companies could, steal it and run with it, right? And so, whenever we had this particular conversation, I was completely against it. But there was one thing that I noticed as we continued to grow. We noticed that a lot of little companies, they were the ones that were reaching out. They were the ones that were like, "Hey, can you guys help us? We're in this particular area," and we were not in that area yet, right? and and so that's what really opened up my eyes of being able to help others even if you're not there yet, by sharing. For example, we have the course, completely free of charge on our website. It's the basics of maintenance, but it's very good to get started, right? So we share that with people so that they can go in, take a look at that particular course, and have a different feel of the maintenance department so that they at least know some of the basics
Yeah.
to, get past certain
And
humps.
by the way, the basics is 8 modules and 41 lessons, all video lessons. So it's the basics, but it's pretty much it's in depth.
Yeah. So if you're listening in, if you're struggling with maintenance, if you're looking for a solution and we can't get to you yet because we are not in that particular area yet, take advantage of the course.
Mm.
It's one of the reasons why we shared it. It's because we want to be able to help everyone that's tuning in, that's listening to what we have to say in regards to maintenance before we're able to get to you guys. And hopefully by then you will grow to a certain level that will be able to step in and help out.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and my reason for wanting to share everything, it's again I come at this from a different approach. Well, the same actually, but still different. For me, it's all about Alex Hormozy saying is you give away the secrets and you sell the implementation. That's it. And even our selling is free. So I don't think we're doing anything wrong there. Right. So yeah, it really is that. So you're providing all of the secrets for free. And then some of because here's the reality though. You have a course, great, that's great information and that will definitely help. But at the end of the day, it's all about the implementation. And if you're not really managing a maintenance department, the course is not going to do you any good either way, right? So even if you give that course to your maintenance coordinator and they're going through it, they're taking notes, they're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. Yeah. If you're not checking and if you're not really managing it and uptraining and being a part of that learning process as a maintenance manager should, I don't think it's as effective. So that's what people notice as well. They see our course, they try to implement it and they see that something's lacking. And that lacking is the knowledge and the leadership that it requires to manage a proper maintenance department. And that's where we come in basically.
Yeah, agreed.
Mhm.
We've seen that, right? We've seen companies that have the same, well, similar SOPs, similar processes that they ran with, processes that we had been building ever since Empire,
Mhm.
but they haven't been able to fully expand their maintenance department, fully take advantage of knowing those processes because they're not easy,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? You can have them. We literally we call it the Bible, right?
Mhm.
And it's a very very big document. And when you look at it, it's scary. The first time you see it, it's pretty scary. You're like, what is this?
Mhm.
Like it has so much information, but we have broken it down to in video format so that people can actually watch those videos, understand what we're talking about. And it's also one of the reasons why we're making these podcasts so that people out there can just tune in and learn something new about maintenance.
Mhm.
We know maintenance, it's not shiny, it's not fun. Well, for some people, for me, it is. But it's not that particular amazing topic you
Not
want to talk
sexy.
about every single day. Right?
It's not sexy.
um yeah, it's not sexy. That's the word I was looking for.
Mhm.
But we love it, and that is one of the reasons why we like talking about it, and we feel like people can learn more when they tune in and when they watch those videos, so that they at least have some basics. They at least know what type of things they can be looking out for, and especially if they want to build their own maintenance department. But once we're able to get to everyone across the nation, which is our goal, we're going to be able to help out so many companies out there.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. As you were speaking, I was kind of dreaming away like, oh man, we also need to write a course for how to manage internal text. We need to write a course on this. We need to write a course on that. You know, man, I'm excited for the future because our website is going to become like a source of knowledge for all property management companies. And I believe our website is going to be one of the most known websites within the next 2-3 years from now as a source for resources. Yeah. Very excited, Diego. I'm very happy that I met you. Very happy that you said yes to building a business. Very happy that we can help so many people out, really. It's very fulfilling for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. Um, if you hadn't called, if you hadn't given me that push, that imagine it, our lives would be completely different. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm on the ship, and
And the
I'm
life
glad
of
we're
our
able to help.
clients too. Like, where would they have been?
Yeah.
Yeah, serious. It's crazy. Yeah. It's very interesting how choices impact many people's lives.
Yeah.
Mm. All right. Cool. Thank you so much, Diego. This was a great episode. Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Peace.